All right, it's time to go over the Unit 8 study guide. Without further ado, here we go. Number one, slavery, sectionalism, not to be confused with nationalism, and states' rights were all long-term causes of the Civil War. All right, number two, the Fugitive Act required a runaway slave to be returned to his or her owner by anyone coming in contact with a slave that has fled for freedom. Now, a fugitive is someone who is running away, running from the law. That's why it was referred to as the Fugitive Act. Number three, a representative from the South attacked a representative from the North after an anti-slavery speech in the Sumner Brooks incident. Number four, states' rights is the belief of people that states should have certain rights, specifically the right to ignore any federal law with which the people of that state do not agree. States' rights. Number five, Southerners were angry that Lincoln might end slavery since he ran as an anti-slavery Republican. In the election of Abraham Lincoln as president in 1860, considered a short-term cause of the Civil War. So that was a short-term or a quick cause of the American Civil War. Number six, South Carolina was the first to write a declaration of secession and secede or leave the Union or leave the United States. Number seven, the event at Fort Sumter officially signaled the start of the Civil War. If you ever get the opportunity to go check out Fort Sumter in Charleston, South Carolina, please make sure you do so. It's a really cool experience. Number eight, the Emancipation Proclamation emancipated or freed slaves in land not under Union control during the Civil War. Number nine, the Battle of Gettysburg is considered a turning point in the war. This is where the South actually invaded the North, and it went pretty bad for the South. Number 11, just kidding. Number 10, the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution abolished slavery throughout the United States. Number 11, General Lee surrendered to General Grant, signaling the end of the Civil War at Appomattox Courthouse. Number 12. The publication of Uncle Tom's Cabin revealed the awful conditions in which slaves had to live and pushed the North and South further apart in their views about slavery. Number 13. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 established citizenship for black males. Number 14. President Abraham Lincoln was not able to carry out his plan for Reconstruction because he was assassinated by Confederate supporter John Wilkes Booth. Number 15, the Freedmen's Bureau provided blacks in the South schools to educate blacks and help blacks find work. Number 18, an example of Jim Crow laws is separate restrooms for blacks and whites. And a little help with the short answer. Sectionalism is an extreme loyalty to a particular region of a nation and that region's interest in ways of doing things. One example of growing sectionalism in America in the early to mid 1800s was the economies of the North and South. Give three statements that describe the economy of the South. Well, look, as we already know, the North was very industry based. Okay, in other words, there were a lot of factories that were being built, producing all different types of goods. Now, on the other hand, the South was very agrarian. In other words, they relied a lot on farming. They also relied a lot on slave labor to work on those farms. They grew crops such as cotton and tobacco, and then they would in turn sell them for a profit. And a lot of the ways in which it worked, the natural resources or the resources that were grown in the South could be shipped to the North, and then in the North they would take those goods that were produced in the South and turn them into some type of product in their factories and then resell them. All right, so that is your review for Unit 8. Have a great day.